a bone to pick with America. So I'm headed to my serving job. I have my literal business marketing degree that put me in a cute $80,000 in debt. And I make more serving sushi rolls. The jobs that are like a cute $150,000 to $200,000 a year, I'm not getting those. I'm a almost 25-year-old, my birthday soon, almost 25-year-old chick going against, corporate America, people with so much experience. All I got is my degree. People say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience! I need to relax.
Sips plastic leaching Starbucks latte and then complains about America when, of course, Sugar Cup, America's not at fault here. You are for borrowing money that you never had, paying for a horrible service that clearly is not going to be helping you out in the real world. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely wild and bewildering news to get into in this video, as I want to talk about the runaway narrative that we are all dealing with right now through the corporate media and social media that is reporting on an incident that happened inside of Palestine that looks like it is definitely something not what people thought it was, as of course this narrative change has led to a tremendous amount of instability inside of the Middle East, and I want to particularly break down all sides of the story and what I think actually happened here with this ever so expanding, confusing, bewildering narrative that we are all trying to make sense of. We're going to be talking about that plus a lot more, all here on this independent media organization. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, and the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is being shared around by a lot of people on social media. Allegedly, it's from TikTok, from Times with Allison, and highlighting the modern day struggles of today's youth that, of course, are dealing with a huge, crazy financial mess of a situation that is making it more and more difficult for them to get by, as of course they're told, hey, just do what you're told, just follow orders, just go to college, just borrow money, just believe in all the indoctrination, just buy all the horrible products that we have for you and everything will be fine. And of course it's not. As modern day life for people growing up in this country, if you do that, you are living a life of tragedy, a life of acquiescence and servitude towards some very awful people that take advantage of your naivety. And it's because people do what they're told and they don't question stuff and they just get those college degrees. It's why we can't have nice things. It's called the Build Back Better plan that, of course, Joe Biden instituted, giving these multinational corporations and Ponzi schemes more control of our life, which essentially have screwed us over. The economy, according to many political experts, is the main reason why Joe Biden is losing in major polls all throughout the United States to the former president of the United States, as the president's approval numbers just fell to 37%, as the possibilities of him winning re-election keep dwindling by each day, where every American struggles just to make it by, leaving a lot of people suspicious to what the establishment and system will do to try to keep him in power for the next upcoming presidential election, since we know that's their objective, as of course the Republicans haven't been doing themselves any favors themselves, as currently there's a lot of turmoil within House Republicans within Congress who cannot appoint a Speaker of the House. This, as just a couple hours ago, Jim Jordan was rejected as Speaker of the House, not getting enough votes. This, as some House Republicans are bidding that Kevin McCarthy's temporary replacement might just be the permanent Speaker of the House. This, as more and more people keep voicing their opposition to members of Congress who clearly do not serve the best interest of the American people, but only the special interests that, of course, pay them off. This, as even Fox News' host Brian Kilmeade was caught on a hot mic calling Republicans, quote, dumbasses. And I would absolutely agree with him and the larger sentiments expressed by Michael Tracy, who came out and said, make no mistake, the longer the House cannot pass anything, the safer safer we are as a nation, and I would absolutely, completely agree with him on that sentiment. As the politicians are not looking out for you, you have to look out for yourself, and that's one reason why we created LukeUnfiltered.com, our own members area where we focus on bringing you the best important information so you make the right decisions for yourself. Today, we're going to have a special members video highlighting a really awesome, incredible interview that we just did with Arthur Pawlowski from Canada that we recently conducted at the Trump Doral Hotel here in Southern Florida. An amazing, really incredible interview that's only available for members right now of LukeUnfiltered.com. That video, plus many other special reports, only available for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. Signing up, it's quick, it's easy, it's simple. You also get a yearly discount right now if you sign up for 1 year. And while you're at it, don't forget to check out wearechange.shop, our own particular line of supplements where now we offer you a bundle of the great products that we have available to you that, of course, I personally like, I personally take. One of them is Calm, and it's this little thing here on this table, 1,000 milligram full spectrum tincture that truly, we tested many of these products out there. It took me about 6 to 8 months to specifically get into the specific product, do a lot of research, do a lot of homework on it. I tested many different ones, and truly, this is the best stuff out there for my personal experience. It's made, it's produced here inside of the United States. It's something that I use to help deal with a lot of particular stress, a lot of inflammation, whatever your issue may be. Start your own health journey and check out wearechange.shop, which is also available down in the description below, which you could check out right now just by clicking the link. As of course, we still have a lot of crazy news to break down. As yesterday, there was many major protests all throughout the Middle East, which specifically targeted American and Israeli embassies and bases in response to an alleged bombing of a Gaza Baptist hospital, which of course is on the minds of a lot of people, as this was a major galvanizing event that spread a lot of protests inside of the Middle East. As we got news reports like this from Zero Hedge right after this incident, reporting 500 plus casualties after allegedly Israel decided to bomb the hospital inside of Gaza. A news report that later was changed to and read, quote, mass protests erupt in Arab capitals as IDF blames erratic Islamic Jihad rocket for hospital massacre. This, as there was also other reports that there was, quote, 900 plus casualties here. And it looks like a lot of these initial reports were not true. This, as we're getting new footage and documentation from this event showing the parking lot being hit here, clearly highlighting a situation where there was maybe a couple dozen people hurt, killed, and injured here, showing a small blast radius that really doesn't add up to the larger kind of sensationalistic news that we heard all over social media during the beginning of this particular incident. News reports that look like they were absolutely wrong. I even reported on Zero Hedge's reportings of this, and I got flack for this, and rightfully so, as I think I could have done a better job here, as now we're finding out new information that does contradict the initial reports of what we were being told happened here that did lead to significant protests in the region because of. Now, still, after a lot of this information is released, people are still debating and arguing what exactly happened here, as of course, we still do not know. As we're still getting information about this particular incident, and we have different people from different sides of this conflict giving out their version of events, and it's pretty clear that there's a lot of disinformation out there that, of course, is conflicting and complicating this entire situation, which sadly there's very little clarity of. As there's still some individuals who are saying that this was an Israeli strike, other people are saying that this was a misfire by Hamas, and there's people poking holes in both of the narratives here in what I could only describe as an absolutely chaotic, crazy situation that's very hard to make sense of. As of course, the IDF also released a recording of an intercepted phone call between allegedly two Hamas operatives that talked about this failed rocket that landed at the Gaza hospital. Other independent media content creators like Michael Tracy bring up questions surrounding this, saying, How is Hamas's OPSEC completely flawless and undetectable on October 7th, but now they have literally an intercepted phone call discussing this exact matter in a fashion that directly points to the narrative that Israel is pushing here? MSNBC also came out and brought questions to this entire narrative by Israel, specifically coming out and saying that the rockets that were used here were not large enough to do that much damage if they were fired by Hamas. But clearly, looking at the images from the aftermath, it does highlight that that assertion by MSNBC isn't really that true, comparing it to, of course, previous bombings from JDAMs that a lot of people alleged were used here. If you compare the two, it really doesn't kind of make sense. And I would say that this definitely isn't the strongest argument being laid out here by MSNBC. Israeli government officials also released footage initially of what they said was rockets from Hamas. Later, we found out that that footage was not true. Then they deleted the footage because it's owed, and now we have new footage, and everyone's interpreting it whatever which way they want. As individuals like Jake Shields are bringing up the fact that Israel did say that they were going to bomb the hospital all week long, and Israel definitely doesn't have the best track record when it comes to their airstrikes, that even within this last campaign has targeted journalists, UN peacekeepers, and aid workers which have been attacked by them. Now, of course, when it comes to these larger airstrikes, whether they're against mosques, whether they're against bakeries, if this attack on the Gaza hospital comes out as a failed Hamas missile system, it's going to, of course, bring question to all the other airstrikes that are actually happening inside of Palestine. As I even put up a poll on my Twitter account asking people, who do you think is responsible here for this bombing? As overwhelmingly, nearly 100,000 votes point the finger at the IDF here. Now, this vote did take place before new information has come out, and personally, looking at the evidence, looking at the video footage here, I think it's fair to say we still don't know exactly what happened here, but with the circumstantial evidence that we have been provided, I think it's fair to assume that the initial reports here were completely wrong, and that as of right now, in the making of this video, the preliminary evidence, I think, according to my own personal opinion, highlights how there's a stronger argument to make here that this was a Hamas misfire. Again, this is my own personal opinion. We will still wait to find out more information when it comes to this entire event, an event that I think is worth investigating since it led to so much protest and chaos inside of the Middle East. And if it was a psyop, it deserves to be called out as a psyop. And if this is a psyop within a larger disinformation propaganda campaign, it also deserves to be called out, as you could see, a very complicated, confusing situation that we have on our particular hands here. And as we wait for more evidence to be provided to us, and I think the best decision that we could all be left here is that we should wait until we find out more information. This, as of course, there's a lot on the line here, as the President of the United States just issued a statement that he believes, along with U.S. military officials, that Israel was not behind this Gaza hospital strike, as he issued this very bewildering long statement about this entire incident.
Years ago, I asked the Secretary of State when he and I were working in the Senate to write something for him, and said, he wrote a line that I think is appropriate. He said, it's not, we lead, not just, well, I won't go into it, I'll wait later, taking too much time, but the point is this, that I was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you.
Yeah, whatever that guy said. Again, his comments definitely don't breed any confidence here, as it's pretty clear that we only have the escalation of tensions here, as the United States under the Biden administration just vetoed a second UN resolution for a ceasefire in Gaza, as they also announced another $100 million aid package to Gaza. This, as many Middle Eastern leaders are protesting the current president of the United States and are canceling meetings with him when he is in the Middle East right now. This, as the stakes are getting just that much higher, as the Iranian embassy inside of Syria just tweeted, quote, "Time's up," with the Israeli embassy that responded with this Keanu gif of them saying, "Bring it." All of this is happening as the lines are being clearly drawn here between many world international superpowers that, of course, are aligning themselves opposite of each other in what people are only describing as a potential global conflict. And I would agree with them, because on one side, we have Russia, China, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Turkey kind of wavering there, Hamas, Hezbollah, and a larger representation of the Muslim world. And then, of course, on the other side, you have Europe, the United States, Israel, and, of course, Ukraine that are geopolitically opposed to each other and facing off in what only is a clear escalating of tensions, as there's even U.S. representative trying to draft a bill that will allow the United States to go after Iranian proxies and attack them, with negotiation and peace talks dwindling, with the black flag being raised in many predominant mosques all throughout the Middle East, with so much disinformation and propaganda out there. Who do you believe? Well, I guess that just depends on your political ideology, which is also just being shredded apart with individuals fighting each other as we're trying to make sense of this entire madness. What do you think actually happened here? Let's do a poll within the comment section. Press number 1 if you think that what happened here was a Hamas attack. Press number 2 if you think this was an Israeli attack and some kind of psyop. Again, you know where I stand. You know what I think after examining the evidence and looking at it myself. What's the actual truth here? Who in the world knows? We're going to wait for more information and then do our best to try to be as honest as we can when it comes to reporting it to you. If you thought we did an okay job at that, share this video with your friends and family members. It's more imperative than ever that we actually get the truth surrounding these larger conflicts, because that is usually the first casualty of war. And I think it's fair to say that with all the crazy crap out there, the truth is definitely not doing that well. That's just my opinion. That's just my perspective. One more video coming your way right now on LukeUnfiltered.com. See you there. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys liking and sharing this video, and because you do, that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.